You know, I'm thinking back about 20 years ago when I first started taking Mercedes-Benzes apart. And one of the things that's always kind of plagued me is removing these side trim pieces on these older models. You have two problems. Number one, you don't want to scratch the paint. You get under here and start prying on this trim piece with any kind of a tool and you scratch the paint. That's where rust can start. And I'm sure some of you have pulled off your trim pieces only to find rust spots underneath them. The other problem, if you're not careful, you'll bend it. You start popping this side off and then you grab a hold of it and try to pull it and this gets a bend in it. And when you try to straighten it out, it kind of buckles, and that's kind of what I'm looking at right here. I think somebody had pulled this piece off before, because this isn't the type of damage from somebody hitting the door. This is the type of damage from somebody trying to pull this off, and they got down to the end here and they bent it. Now, if you've seen some of my older videos on this, I kind of have a special tool that I use. And of course, I've wrapped it with tape so I can get out there and pry on it. But recently I kept thinking, you know, there's got to be a better tool, a better way to take these off. You can control how much pressure you put on them, where you locate the pry tool next to the clip, because that's where you want to be pulling on these. And I think I found the tool. I'm going to demonstrate it for you right now. Here's the tool I've been working with recently. Notice the lever action when you squeeze the pliers. Holds this tight against the body, this gets underneath and pulls back on the trim piece right in the middle of the clip, if you can locate it, and then pops it off with controlled force. The only problem is you start trying to jam this underneath. You have to get this underneath the trim piece. And when you do that, you're going to scratch the paint. I tried putting tape on here and that didn't work. So recently I thought, you know, if I had a real thin piece of plastic like this that I can kind of slide underneath there and then get this tool in underneath where the pressure's on this piece of plastic, that'll prevent any scratching of the paint underneath. And then I can squeeze the handles and pop the trim piece off. So let's see how this works. We're going to start at this end and work this way. So the most difficult part is lifting this out and getting the piece of plastic under. You'll be able to pull up on it and get the piece of plastic underneath like that. Then we're going to take the pair of pliers, same thing, we're going to lift up on it. Now I'm going to slide the plier until I find the area of the clip. Okay, I'm not in the middle of the clip, but I'm right alongside it. Now watch as I squeeze. Okay, we'll come back over here. We'll go about to that location there. I can feel the clip here. Let's see if I can locate it right there, okay? Now I'm going to squeeze. Okay, that one, I'll come back here. Okay, I pop that one off. Now I'm going to keep this piece of plastic up high, like that. Bring it to the next clip. You can actually feel the clip with the piece of plastic. Then I'll pull out on it. Get underneath here, pry. Now it's going to start to really loosen up. So at this point, you can just pull back on it. Find the next clip with the piece of plastic. It's right there. I'm going to lift that up and put the tool in, pry up on it, and then pop it off. Okay, there you can see I've popped the trim off. It's still as good a shape as it was originally, but now I've got to go ahead and get these clips off and get new clips installed before I put the new trim back on. And you can get more information on that on my website, but I thought you should see how this tool works. It can really go to town on these side trim pieces and get them off without scratching the paint or damaging the trim. You can see here I've installed the new clips in each one of the holes. Then I've polished and waxed this whole area that's underneath the strip. That's going to protect that area. And now I went to my used parts stash, and look at that, I found a beautiful right rear door trim strip that's as straight as an arrow. So when I install these, I'll start at one end, get them all lined up first, like this, make sure they're all lined up, and then I'm just going to use the heel of my hand like this and just pop them in. Doesn't that look a lot better?